Okay, let's start with a big question. Who should have power? The richest person? The most popular? The strongest? Well, more than 2,000 years ago, the Greek philosopher Plato came up with a pretty radical answer in his most famous work, The Republic. He said a perfect society shouldn't be run by warriors or businessmen, but by thinkers.
And this quote really gets to the heart of it. Plato was absolutely convinced that the only people who were truly fit to lead a just and good society were philosophers. Now, that was a pretty startling claim back then, and honestly, it still is today. But why? Why did he think that?
To really get why Plato came to this, well, kind of a wild conclusion, we have to follow his train of thought. And it's a journey that starts by questioning what we think of as reality itself. So let's dive in.
So before we can even talk about Plato's ideal ruler, we have to understand his diagnosis of our world. For Plato, what you and I see, hear, and touch every single day, well, that's not the whole story. Not by a long shot. In fact, it's not even the most important part.
Plato basically said there are two realms of existence going on at the same time. First, you've got the material realm. That's our physical world, right? It's always changing, it's messy, it's imperfect, and we only know it through our senses, which can totally fool us. Plato saw this whole world as just a copy, like a shadow of the real thing. But then there's the realm of forms. This, he said, is true reality. It's perfect, it's eternal, it never changes, and you can't see it or touch it. You can only grasp it with your mind, with your intellect. This is where the original perfect blueprints for everything in our world exist.
Now to explain this really mind-bending idea, Plato tells one of the most famous stories in all of philosophy, the allegory of the cave. And it's this powerful metaphor for the human journey from complete ignorance to real enlightenment. So picture this. There are these prisoners who have been chained up in a dark cave their entire lives, forced to stare at a blank wall. Behind them, there's a fire. And between the fire and the prisoners, people are walking by, carrying objects that cast flickering shadows on the wall. For these prisoners, those shadows are reality. It's all they've ever known. But what if one prisoner is suddenly set free? At first, they'd be totally confused. They'd see the actual objects that made the shadows and realize their whole life was a lie. Then they're dragged on this painful, difficult journey out of the cave and into the brilliant sunlight. It would hurt their eyes, it'd be blinding, but as they adjust, they would finally see the world as it truly is, for the very first time.
So here's the kicker. Plato is telling us that we're all basically those prisoners in the cave. The cave itself? That's our limited physical world. And the shadows on the wall? That's everything we experience with our senses, the things we mistakenly call reality.
What the escaped prisoner finds outside is so much more than just seeing new stuff. It's about understanding a completely different level of existence.
That world outside the cave, that's the realm of forms. The forms are these perfect, non-physical blueprints for, well, everything. It's not just a perfect form of a chair or a tree. There are also perfect, unchanging forms of huge concepts like justice, or courage, or beauty. Everything we see in our physical world is just a flawed, temporary imitation of its perfect form.
And these forms have some incredible properties. They exist forever, they never ever change. You can't see them or touch them, you can only understand them with your mind. They're divine, perfect, and they exist outside of physical space. They are the ultimate, absolute truth.
So how in the world does all this bring us back to who should be in charge? Well, this is where Plato connects his whole theory of reality directly to politics. That journey out of the cave is the key.
The person who escapes the cave, the one who sees the real world, is the philosopher. Through years of intense study and thought, they can begin to perceive these forms. And the most important one of all is the form of the good, which Plato saw as the source of all truth and all reality. Kind of like how the sun is what makes it possible to see everything in the physical world.
And this brings us right to Plato's big conclusion. If you want to build a truly just society, you need a leader who actually knows what justice is, not some flawed, shadowy version of it, but the perfect, eternal form of justice itself. And since only philosophers can access this kind of knowledge, well, they are the only ones truly qualified to rule. Everyone else, they're still just staring at shadows on the cave wall.
But here is the amazing paradox. The philosopher, the one who has seen true reality, has zero desire for worldly power. They don't care about money or fame. They would much rather just spend their time thinking about the forms. And that is exactly what makes them the perfect ruler. They don't want the job. They have to be convinced, even forced, to go back into the cave of politics. They only do it out of a sense of duty to help everyone else. Of course, this idea of a philosopher king has not gone unchallenged. I mean, for over 2,400 years, thinkers have been debating, criticizing, and building on Plato's vision.
You know, Plato's own star student, Aristotle, had a big problem with this. He argued that knowing some abstract form of the good is pretty useless for a leader. He said what's way more important is practical wisdom, the ability to make good decisions in real-world situations. And modern critics take it even further. They argue that Plato's model is deeply undemocratic. If you put all the power in the hands of a tiny elite and shut out ordinary citizens, you're running a huge risk of creating a totalitarian state.
And yet, for all the criticism, Plato's influence is just inescapable. The philosopher Karl Popper put it perfectly. He said that the entire history of Western political thought has basically been a conversation with Plato. We're either agreeing with him or we're arguing against him, but we can't ignore him. He literally set the terms of the debate.
And so, Plato's ancient question is still incredibly alive today. When we choose our leaders, what do we prioritize? Do we want someone with a deep philosophical grasp of ideals like justice and the good? Or do we want someone with proven hands-on experience, someone who knows how to navigate the messy reality of the world?